Or you can go to a place like the pre-owned lot that I have here in Eatonton, the Louie's Lake lot right there, and guys may be wearing shorts, and it's a rock lot, and it's a very comfortable environment, and either environment can turn a customer off.
I got you.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, either one can turn them off. But to your question specifically, when a guest pulls up on the lot, if I told you that they were not qualified when they were viewed by a sales representative, it would be the biggest lie on the planet. Whether you're in Montana, Fort Lauderdale, Wisconsin, or here in Middle Georgia, when someone pulls out of the car, I promise you the sales guys know, because they've got this mind thing where they know who's a deal and who's not a deal, right? They've got this magic touch. They can just know, oh, that's a car deal. Right? Where they get it from, it's called, after 3 months in the business, they know all of a sudden. But unfortunately, they see a family pull up, come out of the van, mom and a dad and 2 kids pop up. All of a sudden, they feel like that's a car deal. Now they rush and race to get to that customer. Where, maybe hard-working fella gets out, he's wearing flip-flops, he comes up in a beat-up truck, and he gets out of the truck and comes in, he's walking around. They don't rush to him because they immediately think, well, look at what he's driving, or look at how he's dressed, or whatever the case may be. It's the worst mistake any human can make in any selling situation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The worst. Because at the end of the day, what I preach and teach to my guys is you need to stop worrying about the customer's commitment and ask yourself the question, are you committed? That's all that matters. Are you committed to show up at work today with a smile on your face and a good attitude and greet everyone that walks in this place with a great attitude? Are you committed to show a customer a car when they tell you they're not buying for 3 weeks? Are you committed to going through the process and giving them all the information they need to make a well-informed decision, even though they told you 4 times they're not buying? Are you committed?
Yeah.
And the answer you'll find more times than not at most lots is, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
They'll never tell you that. But that's their initial response. Yeah. I'm not committed. So, but I will tell you, if you flip the roles, if customers are listening to me now, I would love to hear your opinion, that I believe that a customer will qualify the sales rep. Mm-hmm. Chip, does that happen?
Oh, I'm sure it does. Yes.
Billy John walks out there and he just threw a cigarette out of his mouth, which is just nasty before you greet a customer, and he's got a smoke smell all over him, and he goes to greet somebody, and he goes right up to the guy and says, "How you doing?" and doesn't even say anything to the wife.
Yeah.
Right? Do you think when he turns around to go get the keys to the car they want to look at, that the wife's not saying something to the husband?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And
they're realizing right away, wait a minute, as soon as that guy walks off, they're determining, I'm not buying from this. I'm not buying from this place, or I'm not buying from that guy.
Yeah.
Something's going on in the conversation. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that. So they don't even get to see the great deal that might be offered to them.
They have no clue. So I think it works both ways, but here's the big deal. It's like I tell the sales reps at the dealership, it sounds bad when I tell you, not that I think customers are going to bold-faced lie, but I say customers are allowed to lie, you are not. And what I mean by that is, more specifically, is customers are posturing. They're protecting their own interest. Yeah. So they may not divulge all the information up front. They may not give you what you need to know up front. And it's okay for them to do it. It's not okay for you to do it.
Hey, and I'll bet the car salesperson does the same thing when they're buying a house or they're buying a kitchen appliance. They go in and hold some of their cards back a little bit too. So.
Absolutely. So real quick before we go to a break, we're talking about when you go to a car lot, you're going to a reputable dealership, and you walk up. What's the expectation? Like I'm pulling up to this lot, and I'm nervous, I'm uncomfortable, I don't even want to be here, and if I could buy a car without you guys, I really would. You got a certain amount of information off the web, you really need to gather a few more facts, you want to shop 3 dealers, and the last thing you want to do is go back in that building and meet a manager, right?
Right.
So here's the deal. What you want to do is, like I tell every time we have one of these shows, the first thing I would tell you is, regardless of the experience you deal with the dealership, please, more than anything, do some research before you come to lot number 1. Number 2, this is your purchase. Don't let anybody offend you or intimidate you in feeling any way. This is your time. You should enjoy this process. If you want to be there 15 minutes, be there 15 minutes. If you want to stay there and be open-minded for an hour to really get some more research done, be there for an hour.
Yeah.
But don't let anyone force you to do anything different. This is your time, and you don't want to move too quick, because if you move too hasty, moving fast means sometimes making a mistake.
Yep.
And when you make a mistake in the car business, it costs you money, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So what you want to do is kind of, first and foremost, understand that. But understand, as you come to the lot, the very first thing that's going to happen is you should get a warm first greeting. You should not get trampled by 8 salespeople. In my opinion, there should be a system in place at the lot that knows who's up next, who's going to get the next customer. We're not going to rush and kill them as they get out of the car. We're not going to let them walk around for 10 minutes without being greeted. There's a fine line between how quick and how slow, but that's the whole thing. So the first greeting is a critical point, and I know we got to go to a break, and we'll get into the importance of that greeting and why that ties into the selection of the car and the end result of the whole process.
Louie, have you ever had a customer come in and request a different salesperson than maybe what first greeted them?
I have. I hate to admit it. We're in the South, so sometimes there's some prejudices that happen, and that's brought up on occasion. They'd rather deal with someone else and so forth, which is heartbreaking on either side. Regardless, you have some females that would rather request dealing with a female.
That's what I was thinking more.
That happens. Yes, that happens. Yeah. And I'm being candid, and I hope you're listening. Those that are listening understand. I'm just being truthful. It just happens. At the end of the day, my position is, as long as guests are not hateful towards the staff, I'm kind of like the head coach.
Yeah.
So anytime there's somebody hateful in the process of how they, really and truly, I don't have much desire to sell that person an automobile. I really don't. The customer always comes first, and I always will take the position to make sure that we're gonna make sure we do our part by the customer's sake. But we just want to respect each other as human beings, and that's something that I'm always mindful of.
Yeah, I just kind of really meant I'm more comfortable with the guy that's not so intimidating, or you're just people have different styles.
Yeah, and most dealers or most general managers, Chip, believe it or not, in training classes, we will discuss with the sales reps. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out you can be with someone for 10 minutes and you're not vibing, you're not feeling each other, you're not connecting. You know that, right? Maybe the guest you're dealing with is a little short, condescending, and direct, and you're a little passive and talkative. You're not. This guy needs somebody more hard hitting, more straight to the face, more bottom line.
Right.
So we do our best to tell the salespeople, look, you're better off turning that customer over to John, because John's a direct guy, and then they split the deal. Yeah. And so if they can get their ego out of the way, what happens is it helps them and it helps the store and it helps the customer. If they choose not to get their ego out of the way, they lose a car deal, the customer's upset, and the dealership didn't get a car deal.
Right.
So, that's what I try to impose on my people, is to say, look, just be mature and mindful that if you're not getting along with someone, man, just, if they want to deal with a female guest because they're female, get them a female. Yep. It's not, don't get your feelings hurt. It's just a car deal. It's not a love affair. Let's just move forward.
I talked to a woman that went in with her husband. They were buying a minivan, not at your dealership, but, it was the woman's decision. She was going to decide on what they wanted, and the salesperson kept going back to the man. Let me show you this, or do you want to drive this? And he kept saying, ask my wife. Yeah. And he kept going back to the man and just kind of ignoring the woman.
It's unfortunate no one can tell me different that selling is psychology. And what I mean by that is, I don't care what you're selling. It's all psychology. And I think a job of a sales professional is you have to read the dynamics, the body language. We know that 7% of what you say to somebody they connect with by your words, 80% is body language, and 20% is your voice inflection. So at the end of the day, you can say all you want, but the customer will tell you by their body language exactly what they're feeling. And as a sales professional, I believe my standard is a guest that comes to the dealership, we're supposed to be trained, okay? We are, not the customer. We're supposed to be trained. We're supposed to understand that and read that and be Johnny on the spot and know that, hey, let's make a transition. The guest needs somebody different here.
Yeah, gotcha. All right. We'll be back with more. If you like to rein in on this, love to have your comments or questions, 706-453-4140 or star 1039 on your AT&T wireless phone. It's Chip and Louie. It is the Auto Show on Thursday, every Thursday from 3 until 5. 17 away from 4.